Welcome to the first section in the advanced classes, and it's going to be really interesting, I promise you. And so, during our internship, we learned Power BI desktop. So it becomes important to understand that there are three parts of Power BI. So we have the Power BI desktop, which we have done extensively. We have the Power BI service, which is a cloud platform, Power BI Cloud, or the web version of it. Then we have the Power BI mobile, where you can consume your report on the go using your mobile phone. So those are the three Power BI ecosystem. So let's talk about them. We have already spoken about Power BI. We have already done Power BI desktop. So let's go straight into what we have, since we have just 1 hour. So the Power BI service is a cloud-based BI service. So what it means to be cloud-based is it enables collaboration. You don't need to install any application for you to be able to use it. And that's how amazing it is. However, it has its limitation. So there are things it cannot do that desktop can do. And there are things that the desktop version can do and the web version cannot do. So, but the web version is a very powerful tool. As a matter of fact, it is actually the web version that you will use in your company for collaboration, for sharing of your Power BI reports and dashboards. Today, you're going to understand the difference between reports and dashboards. So, on the Power BI service, the Power BI service is so powerful that it connects to multiple data sources. It connects to to separate data sources and on-premise data sources too. So you have heard of, I'm sure you must have heard of the word on-premise. It's being used a lot. So when I say it connects to online data sources and on-premise, it becomes so easy to understand what on-premise means. So on-premise means those data sources that are on your local machine. Can you give me some examples of the data sources you connect through your local machine?
Is it like the one on Excel?
Exactly. So you can connect an Excel that is on your computer, ESV on your computer. These are on-premise. Because they are not online, they are called on-premise. Another place you can also hear about on-premise is when you hear about data warehouse. A company, mostly in NHS, they will tell you our data pipeline and our data warehouse is on-premise. It means it's sitting in a particular computer in the trust, in the office, and they access it from there. So it is not open. Why? If you have to access it, you have to access it through an intra network, the network within the company. And banks are the people that use it. They use this type of intra network a lot. So that's what on-premise is. I will not recommend that you stress yourself on data sources, data pipelines that are on-premise. Just the world is moving higher. So always go for, if they say they have the data pipeline on the cloud, that's better. So this service can connect to data on-premise and online. And this on-premise it connects to Excel, CSV, and so many other data sources that you have. You can connect to so many, like even Python. So it can connect to Python. But what really happens here, even when it connects, okay, sorry, it cannot connect to Python. Sorry, it doesn't connect to Python. It's only the desktop that connects to Python. So now it has the ability to connect to on-premise and online data sources. You can build and publish reports and dashboards. Now here we are. So what we have been building all this while is reports. We have been building reports. And some people use it interchangeably to be dashboard reports. No, what we have been building is report. Where some people out there, you can confidently say it's dashboard. But in Power BI perspective, what you build on your desktop, it's reports. But on Power BI service, you build dashboard. So how it's dashboard built? For those who have used Tableau, if you understand how to use Tableau, there is a tab for dashboard. So dashboard for Power BI, what happens is when you have report 1, report 2, report 3, report 4 for the same company, you can easily build, you know, you can easily use data set from these different reports and build one dashboard. At different data sets, can quickly use them and build one dashboard in Power BI. So dashboards are different from reports in Power BI, and you can argue that not so many people use it in their company, but the most popular one the companies use is reports, not dashboard. But just know that this exists, and you can actually pull data from here, 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 different data, different reports, and move them to the dashboard. So you can actually move the whole idea of dashboard is to move the most important KPIs or visuals from all your reports to one central place called dashboard. Just the most important one. You move them, and it becomes easy for the person consuming it to consume it. All right, so let's move on. Now, because it is web, it becomes a good place for collaboration. You can't necessarily easily collaborate with Power BI Desktop because it's in your local machine. To be able to collaborate, you need to save it. You can't even collaborate. So all you do is you save the data set, you share it with your mate, and then your mate goes in, edits, maybe saves it and share it with you. And it has to only work if you are doing import mode. So what is import mode? We have direct query and import mode in when you want to get data. Direct query and import mode. So what we have been doing is import mode. That's what I've been doing, and that's the most popular because that's the one that supports a lot of DAX functions. Now, what happens with the import mode is you get the data from all the different data sources. You will bring them to Power BI. They stay. When you bring them here, you save them. When you save them, it becomes a PBIX data set, which you can share with someone. So what happens there is when you save them, it saves all the data that you had at that time. Every data that existed in these data sources. At that time, it saves them, then you share it with whoever you want to share. But on direct mode, Power BI does not save any data set. It queries it directly from the data sources in real time. So if there is any updates, you don't necessarily need to refresh. It comes in automatically into your system. If there's any update in the data lake, in the data warehouse or data or database or any data source, it automatically comes here. But this also has its drawback. So this is what most people use and what I would recommend for you. So again, the Power BI service encourages collaboration. So all of you can actually come in, collaborate on Power BI service um on one particular report. You can all work together on it to give it the best look. That's why it is wonderful. And you can drop comments, you can leave it, return and do your own. You can just be there, everybody will be working on it. And when you come back, you will see what others have been able to do. That's the beauty of the online, um, the web. So now let us do some comparison, the web and the desktop. Let's do some comparison between the web and the desktop. So the desktop, it's just like one of the best. In fact, it's totally the best version of Power BI, the desktop version, because you do all so many heavy lifting in the desktop version, and you can actually find somehow maneuver your way to achieve a lot of things, but you can't do that in Power BI service. So Power BI, because of that, the desktop has many data sources. So the complete data source for Power BI is all part of in the desktop. Whereas the service has limited data source, like I earlier mentioned, it does not have the capability um, to query data using Python into Power BI. But desktop can do that at Power BI level and at Power Query level. Desktop can actually do that. Now, um, Power Desktop has the data model. So there's no data model interface. The data model interface. There's no data model in Power BI service. It's only that is exclusive to desktop. You cannot do DAX calculation in Power BI on Power BI. In Power BI service, you cannot do DAX calculation. Where you create calculated column and calculated measure, you cannot do it in Power BI service. That is desktop. You have to do that in desktop. And you also give row level access. Row level access, giving people access to the data they need to have. We will talk about that in our future discussion on Power BI service. We'll talk about that, how to give row level access. So for instance, you want to give access to you are the one in charge, you are the creator. So you want to give access to the marketing team, give them access to data that concern them. You need to give in the same dashboard, you will give them, or data set, you will give them access to that. So that's some of the things you get from the desktop. And now, but for the like I mentioned earlier, on the service has dashboards that desktop does not have. Service has app. You can see this app here. You can see app here. This app. So this app is used to also share your reports. So service has this app, and that's the recommended way to share report, which we will do in the future. So service has app, but desktop does not have app. All right. So in service, there is what we call data flow. The service has data flow, but desktop does not have data flow. All right, so that is it about the comparison between the both of them. Do you have any question? Have you got any question, guys? Rose, do you have any question?
I will just have to go through the recordings again because I missed some aspect of the explanation. Yeah, especially where you said talking about the direct and the indirect, like the direct and the indirect method.
Import mode. Import mode.
Yeah, I'm not sure I got that aspect.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'll try and explain it again quickly. So the direct mode it's when you query data directly from the database and you don't save it. So
Okay.
you query it into Power BI, you don't actually save it as a Power BI data set. It doesn't save. So what means that it's communicating directly from the data source. So let's say there are 5 data sources, data rows in that data source. When you add the sixth one, it refreshes, it shows immediately in every part of your work. It shows
Yes.
immediately. The only drawback there is that because it shows immediately, it kind of weighs down on the reports. So it becomes a bit heavy because it's getting its data in real time. Because when it gets it, remember it will do the calculation in Power BI, a Power Query, every calculation done before it reflects in this. But all these things are done automatically because it is direct mode. Now, the import mode, which is the most popular, is you get the data from wherever you get it, you save it. When you save it, it does not know whether there is any new data until you come and click on refresh. It will bring the new data, or you automate the refresh, and then maybe you come back, you automate the refresh. After some time, let's say you can tell it to refresh every 3 hours. Every 3 hours, it will refresh and look for new data sets. That's the difference. You'll be able to save one as data sets. The other one, you're not saving it as data set because it directly queries the database or the data source. Is this clear?
Okay, so we connect to data sources from by clicking on this new import, the new report, or how
Yes,
do we
so
get data?
the same way you get data, click on get data. Oh, you mean in this interview? Don't worry, we'll talk about this one. So the
Okay.
same way you get data, when you click on get data, you have the ability to choose direct mode or import mode. And direct mode and import mode does not work for CSV. Direct mode does not work for CSV because I mean CSV is on your system, if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
And so mostly it's for databases. And direct mode has a whole lot of limitations. Some DAX functions don't work on them. All right. So you can mute yourself.
All right.
All right. Any other question? Okay. So let's move on. Now, if you notice, when you created your account in Power BI, it's actually a free account. It's actually a free account. This is because Power BI has the free part of it and has the paid part of it. So we're going to talk about what the 3 major individual accounts anyone can create in Power BI. We have the free account, Power BI free account. We have the Pro, and we have Premium Pay User. So I'll explain it. So Power BI free account is the default account you create. You don't need to put in your credit card. You just create it. You have it. That's a free account. So it does not allow collaboration. It gives you access to 110 data sources, but 110 data sources, trust me, it's amazing for a free thing. So, and of course, it allows you to export to CSV and Excel. So when you have free mode when you have free account in Power BI, it also gives you access to my space. This is my space, my workspace, sorry. It gives you access to my workspace. It doesn't allow you to access work to start creating accounts on apps and workspaces. Then we're going to come to workspaces for the difference between workspaces and my workspace. So then we have the other one called the Pro. Pro is $9.99 per month for one user. So if you have like 10 users, that will cost you like 90 points. It's gonna cost you $99.99 per month if you have 90 user, 10 user in your organization that needs a pro license. So it is per person. So when you find yourself in an organization where everyone has Power BI license, then understand that the company is paying per person, not a general thing, and then use it judiciously. But use it if it's because you're the person, Power BI person, you have to use it well so that it won't be like it's a wasted resources. And that applies to any other tool. When a tool is being subscribed by your company, ensure you use it really well so that they feel good for paying that for that tool. After some time, if you're not, if the usage is really low, they will be they will be prompted to, they will just go and unsubscribe because there's no need paying for what you're not using. So when they do it, please ensure you use it well, make the most of it for your own, for the company and for yourself. So now the pro user has all the functionalities, all the assets that the free user has, of course. And of course, you have to pay for it. And so it gives you access to workspaces. It allows you to publish app and even have email subscription. Can subscribe to subscribe it gives you subscription to email to send reports to your email address. So it has email subscription. And it has so many other things it can do, access to multiple more data sources and so many other functionality. The other next one is premium pay user. So the premium pay user, it's like saying we are going to give you a premium service at the level of one person, at the level of individual. So it's going to give individual person a premium service. Premium service is supposed to be for like enterprise because there is also a premium account for enterprise. But let's break it down to the individual level. That is why um, we have this particular payment plan called premium per service. Now, for you to create some account, so in the premium per service, you use most of the premium license at an individual level, and it has AI capability. It has advanced data flow. It also has it has a deployment pipeline, paginated reports, and even give you power to refresh more. So normally in your pro license, you can only refresh a number of times a day, but your premium per user gives you power to refresh multiple times in a day. So it gives you more refresh power capability. Why am I saying this? It's important when you find yourself in a company. Sometimes I can assure you, sometimes you might be the one that will, it might be because of you they will apply for Power BI license. It might be because of you that the company will start using Power BI. It has happened to me several times. You might be the one that will recommend Power BI because of what it can do. So you can get there and you will notice that they are using Excel, they are using maybe Tableau, which is very expensive. You will be the one, you could be the one that will tell them. If they tell you we are open to a better tool, which is so amazing for companies. And you recommend Power BI, you would then be the one that will tell them the one, they will need to pay for that will do the job. So both pro and premium per user has the collaboration capability and you can share it. Now, when you share Power BI Pro to someone, the person needs to have Power BI Pro account to access it in your company. The same thing with premium per user. Otherwise, they won't be able to access it. So when you share a dashboard, which is usually in a workspace, they need to be able to access it if they have that license that you have or higher license. Does that make sense? Do you have any question on that? All right, so we are good. Now, in Power BI, there's what we call common user personas. Common user personas. There are three main users or three main personas in Power BI service or in Power BI. So we have the creators. Sorry. We have the creators, we have the analyzers, and collaborators. I'm going to explain each of these persons. Now, the creators design, build, and maintains reports and dashboards. This creator plays key role in the entire Power BI workflow. So what does that mean? From data collection, data extraction, data extraction from all the different data sources to cleaning, visualization, writing of that model, modeling, writing of that function, the entire Power BI workflow can be done by the creator. The person who does this type of thing, both on desktop, on mobile, and on service, is called Power BI creator. So the person must have deep understanding and deep and well-rounded understanding of Power BI or well-rounded Power BI skill sets to be a creator. And that is what you have been trained to be. And that's the reason for this particular training, so that you will be a well-rounded person and a true creator in Power BI. It's actually where the main job is. Then there is this other group that are called analyzer. So understand that Power BI is a self-service BI. So what's their name? Managers could just come and pick a few data sets and analyze according to what they need. These people who are not the people who don't go around doing all the things that you do as a creator. Their own is to just come in, explore and manipulate your data to just extract key insights. These kind of people are called analyzers, and sometimes they often create and edit visual. That's mostly what they do. They come in, they create and edit visual. Yeah, hello.
I don't know why at some point I don't know if it's from me hearing. You keep getting so fast that I can't grasp what you're saying. And the next minute you're slowed down, the next minute you're fast. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Is any other person having that same thing?
Yeah, I think it's his
Because it's
network.
just okay.
It might be my network, honestly. Actually, my network.
So you just go fast. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's happening?
It's usually network. So when it lags and when it lags and you're talking, as long as it's streaming, because this thing is streaming, as long as it's streaming, when it comes up again, it tries to cover up that gap. So sorry about that. But you can ask questions, please. All right, can we go on, guys? So these analyzers often edit and create visuals. They just do simple measures and calculated columns with that, and use other features like Q&A, that's question and answer. There is question and answer in Power BI service and even Power BI desktop, and some filters. They just use some simple things. The whole idea is to just gain insights. That's what they're up for. They don't care about how you clean this data, how you extracted this data. They don't care about all those things. Is the data ready? Yes. You just pick it up and do some little analysis based on what they want. So most times these people are the consumers of your data. Most times. So the next group are the collaborators. So these collaborators, they help publish and share reports. They build apps. So they come here and create apps. they come here and create apps. So they also create workspaces. They create workspaces, ensure everyone has access. They create role level security, role level access, ensure that the persons that need to have access to it. Sometimes you see them as in job interview where they call them maybe Power BI administrator. So this person also has a good understanding of Power BI, but does not involve in the day-to-day cleaning of data, analyzing of data. It's just like someone mostly higher in authority that sits up there and do what they need to do. All right, so sorry about that. I think it's my network that is disturbing. I don't know why it is doing that tonight. It's usually stable. All right, so that is the collaborator. Now let's talk about the interface. So this is the Power BI service interface that you can see here. So when you come here, you will see, so you will say up here, you will see, the conventional ellipsis you see here that leads you to other Microsoft products. So when you click here, you see some other Microsoft product. So that's what you see there. It's the same thing for every Microsoft 365 product. Now, by the side, you see home that brings you to the home. You see create. So when you come here, you build your first report. You can easily create your first report. So add data to start building a report. These are just data sources you can quickly pick up and start building your report. When you check here, you can see from your Power BI service, you can actually download Power BI desktop. In case you are worried if you're downloading the right version or the right Power BI, you can come in here and actually download it here. You can also go up here and download it up here. Then when you download it, you install it. Then you will know that you're downloading the right thing. So that's it on create here. So let's go to the next one, browse. So you browse like recent, favorite, and then sometimes if you are in an organization, a report or dashboard could be shared with you. You will find it on shared with me. All the things that it's shared with you. Let's say I share with you any of this product, you will find it here. That's where you're going to find it. And then if you favorite anyone on the most recent, you are going to see it. Okay, so let's move on. One Lake and Data Hub. All right, so we've not used this for now. We're not going deep into this. This has to do with Microsoft Fabrics. Here you can create apps. So these apps are a way to collaborate, a way to share what you have built with other persons within the organization. So in this create app, you can also get app. So you can get other people's app and see how they created theirs and use it to edit yours. If you want the one that is created within your organization, you can come here, organizational app. See, I don't have any organizational app. If you want some template app, you can come here, use a template app to use it to design your own. And what is this app? This app is just like, the concept of web interface that helps you to consume data information. That's what this concept is giving to us, building your app as if it's a web interface. So that is it, metrics. All right, so this one, don't use it so much. So let's move on to the other one. Monitoring hub. No, learning is for learning when you want more resources. So pay more attention to this. Workspaces and workspaces and my workspace. Now, what is the major difference? It's just a simple thing. As a free user, you always see my workspace, and you can create work. So what this workspace does is it's free. It's 100% free for anyone. So in this workspace, you create report. You create report that only you can consume. That's what this by workspace is. And what are even workspaces in general? So workspaces are used to organize your reports. So you are in a department, you find yourself in an organization that has different departments. Workspace can represent a department. Financial department, that is one workspace. And inside that one workspace, every report you build for that financial department will go into that workspace. Even if there are 50, there are 70, you will find them inside that workspace. So that's what workspace is used. Workspace is used to organize your reports and dashboards. That is what workspace is. Organize them in categories or give them wonderful organization. That's what it is. So when you come to this my workspace, which is personal, only you can see it. You cannot collaborate on my personal workspace. But it is also good for you because you can actually come here, create folder. I just created this folder. I can go create more folder where I can put all my work, but this is just folder. This is not the same thing as workspace. This is not the same thing as work, but inside workspaces here, I can create multiple workspaces. But here is just one workspace created for me, and then I have folders to add my work. And it's even in preview, which means they have not finished working on it. They are testing it. Then here, you can, create reports, paginated reports, scorecard, dashboard, semantic model, and streaming dataset. These are outside the scope of this work. But the most important thing that if you have a dataset already uploaded here from your desktop, you can create report out of it on Power BI service. All right, so you can create dashboard out of it. So that is this for the workspace. And this workspaces have two views. We have the list view that presents your work in list or your report in list. And then you have the lineage view. You will not get to see this until I use my workspace where I have a workspace I created. So this is my workspace I created named projects. So you can see all the different, so like I told you, a workspace can contain multiple reports and dashboards. So you can see all the reports and dataset I have already here. And that's just one workspace. And you can create as many workspaces as you like. Now, this is list view. When you come up here, you will see that it is list view. Now, let me create data lineage. And what is data lineage? So what data lineage is a graphical representation of how your data traveled. So it's a visualization of how your data traveled. So it's telling me that this report enhancer is a CSV data that came through a local data gateway. I will explain what gateway is. And then down to a semantic model and then a report. The same way, it's telling me that this particular data came from BigQuery. That's what it's telling me, and which is 100% correct. This came from BigQuery. It's a project I did. Then I created a data set out of it and then reports. Then this eBay one came from Postgres. So you can see all the data lineage, and it's so amazing. So easy it becomes easy. So let's say with this one, I created multiple reports out of it. You'll be able to see everything. And this is so wonderful. All right, so let's go to lists. Now, I am on a premium, so I paid for this one. So that's why I can create deployment pipeline. That's a pipeline that shows you that you can create from where your data comes from to where you need it to be. So just like a data pipeline, deployment pipeline. And then you can also create app here. app is out of the scope of today's class. Can create this app. Most apps are created within a data set. So when I come here, I can within a workspace, I can create app here. And when I create, the app, all I just need to do is to add this report into this app, and then it is ready for me to share with the organization. All right, so when I go to workspace, how do I create a new workspace? I am here in my, because this is where I can create more workspaces, not in my workspace. So I am here, this is the workspaces. So if I want to create a new workspace, I can come here, click on, okay, so let me close this. Workspace. I can come here, new workspace. See it under, click here. I will name it. So let me name it something. Winter intern projects. So you guys can bring all your projects, and you can see the asterisk here showing you that name cannot be empty. So you can leave this description empty and assign to a domain optional. So we are not using this. Your workspace can have a logo. So you can upload a logo here. I could just go here and go and get Softbyt logo and upload here. So this is Softbyt brand. All right, so it's not here. Okay, so I get it from desktop. Miscellaneous, Softbyte. All right, so this is the logo. So I'll just pick this one and I will put it there, Softbyte. And I will create, so advanced here. So this advanced is like, who are the people that want to have access to this? And this is a pro user account. So it's a pro user by default. Who are the people that want to have access to this? And that's, I will just add them. If I want this my account to be a premium pay user, I can come here and create a premium pay user account. So I can go here, then create it. Now it's asking me to use Power BI Premium, you need to upgrade. So when you upgrade, you get 100 gigabytes model size, up to 45 refreshes of your up to 45 refreshes of your data set per day. Yeah, Ella, please ask a question.
Sorry, I'm taking you back. I'm just trying to put all the knot them together in my head.
Okay.
Just refresh me on you talked about the features of the Power BI service. So I really want to really understand what the key features are really of the Power BI service. Sorry.
All right, so that's fine. So the key features of Power BI, the key main features of Power BI service are dashboard. You can create dashboards, which is different from report. What we're building is reports.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can create apps. Then you can create workspaces, which is what we want to create. But I cannot create this right now because asking me to pay, it also to pay. But it's so easy to create. You come, you go here, you create workspace, and then that's it. You put the name, you create it, you put in your account and create it. So why is it asking me to pay? Remember, I told you that you cannot create workspace here except you are you're a paid user. So it's asking me to pay. That's why it did not create it. So that's the major things that you find. Okay, you have data flow. So if I come here on this new, you will see data flow, some of the things that we are not in, that you can find here in Power BI service. You can't find it on desktop. Data flow, data maps, data streaming data flow. Data flow is just a way for you to clean your data online, prepare your data on that. It's amazing. It has a lot of things you can get from it. So you find this is in Power BI service. But the most powerful part of Power BI service is collaboration. Collaboration, for you to be able to collaborate with other users within the organization, even outside the organization. So it is with Power BI service that you will be able, let's say you're running a consulting company. So you're building, you are managing company's data. You can actually come, each of these workspaces will no longer be departments. There will be those companies you're managing, you manage them in workspaces and give them access to those workspaces, role level access to only their workspaces. So that's where this is so amazing. You cannot access that through desktop, but desktop has its own powerful capabilities, like doing that calculation, doing
Okay, so we can do like exploration,
data
something
model.
like that.
So you like data model, that's calculation. You can only do that in desktop. So what is really the advice here? You use a combination of desktop and service to get the most out of Power BI. And that is how it should be in the organization, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right. So we're almost done, guys. So like I said, you cannot collaborate with others if you're using my workspace. And content can be shared with individual. You can actually share workspace content only with people with higher access, like pro and premium per user. But it cannot share it with anybody without with a free access. So it also contains building blocks. So it also contains building blocks like, so let me come to my workspace. I'll come here, I'll click my workspace. So it contains building blocks. These are the building blocks. So you can name them, how many they have. These are the main building blocks. Then, but this is folder. If you notice, there is no folder in workspace. So it gave us folder so that we can also organize our work in folders. But folders are not the same thing as workspace. Workspace has more capability than folders. So then when I go to this workspace itself, please don't confuse workspace and my workspace. Workspace is for organizational level. My workspace is for personal level. So when I come here and enter this workspace I created, and I click new here, you can see we have much more work. And what makes it much more powerful is we can, even within a workspace, we also can create folders. Can you see? And also move everything here into folders. So that's what this is. This is so powerful. This is so powerful. But of course, it comes at a cost. So, and then its ability to collaborate is what makes it stand out amongst others. And I will stop here for you to ask your questions.